Welcome back, everybody. Today I'm back with the Shark ChillPill, which is advertised as a 3-in-1 personal cooling device. Does it work? Is it worth $150 I paid for it? And how does it compare to a cheap fan by Coolhill I recently reviewed? Let's find out in today's video, starting with the unboxing. This is the Shark ChillPill. I paid $149.99 for this on Amazon, where it currently has a 4.0 star rating among over 250 reviews. This is currently listed as the #1 new release in personal fans. We're greeted immediately with some information here, which hopefully is helpful. All right, inside we have the fan itself, cooling plate. This is the misting pod. Inside here we have a USB cable, misting wicks, some instructions, more instructions, and a carry pouch. So here are the contents of the ChillPill packaging. Now they claim it's the only 3-in-1 personal cooling system with a fan, Insta-Chill cooling plate, and dry touch mist that refreshes without drenching. They say the cooling plate drops the temperature 16 degrees Fahrenheit. The fan itself has 10 speeds. They say it can be worn, attached, or twisted for hands-free tabletop mode. Now, if you actually want to wear it, all the accessories are sold separately, which seems surprising considering the price, but we'll touch on that later. They say it lasts up to 11 hours on low or 1.5 hours on max. They say it recharges in 3.5 hours. They say the mist can be in interval or constant. Now, people on Amazon who like this, they say it works better than expected. A lot of people said it was really powerful yet compact. Some people said it's great for hot flashes, which I cannot test out. Others said it's great for migraines. Some people said it's easy to position to get the right angle. Several people said it was well made. Now, of those who didn't like it or had complaints about it, some people said it was too loud, even on the lower settings. Virtually everybody, including those who liked it, said it was overpriced. A lot of people pointed out that the accessories were not included, which seems kind of outrageous for the cost. Some people said it's inconvenient to switch cooling functions because each one you have to switch out. A lot of people said the included bag doesn't hold everything. One big complaint was that the mist only lasted a few minutes, the wicks have to be replaced, and some people said it was just awkward to aim. I looked at all the accessories on the Shark website, which aren't on Amazon at this point. They might be later, but not right now. And if you bought all of them, it'd be another $100. Now, there seems to be a lot of TikTokers who are pushing this, but I have to wonder if maybe they're pushing this so they can get the affiliate money. We'll see about that. There's a lot of opinions on this one on both sides, so we'll have to see where I land with my tests. So I'm gonna charge this up and then we will get started. Let's go over the features of this before I get started here. Now, I've just charged it up, and right now I have the fan cap on there, and here are the other attachments, which we'll get to next. There's a lock button here, so I guess if it's in a purse or a bag, it won't accidentally get turned on. To power it on, you press this downward, and as you can see, we're now on level 1, and green battery indicates we are full. And you simply spin this to go up to level 10. That seems a little bit loud, but we'll deal with that a little bit later as well. Turn it off that way. Now, to swap out the attachments, you just twist here. There's a lock indicator there. Let's try the cooling plate next. Now, when the cooling plate is on, the fan will not blow, which is a little bit disappointing, but that's the way it is. What's interesting about the cooling plate is they say it's best under 90 degrees. Here in Vegas, our lows are over 90 degrees sometimes, but it supposedly has 2 levels for milder or colder settings. So we turn it on and we are at level 1. Oh, that's pretty cold. We will check that later, but that feels pretty cold. And then level 2, press it again. It sounds like the fan's running, but there's no air coming out of here. So there's actually a sound even though you don't get any fan out of it. But that's pretty cold. I'll be interested in trying that out later. And this is for direct contact to your skin. There was even a little sticker that says, press the skin. All right, let's take this off here. Let's move on to the misting pod now. Now this one you have to open up. Right here they have a little indicator where the water goes in, and there's a wick inside already installed, and they give you 3 extras as well. I think a replacement package is $5 and each one lasts about a month. I also did not see these at Amazon, so you gotta buy them direct. Now on this one there's 2 modes, constant mode and interval mode. Constant mode, they say lasts up to 5 minutes. Interval mode up to 10, which really isn't that impressive if you ask me. But what we're supposed to do now is add water up to the top, close it up, and start misting. We're full of water. It doesn't leak, that's good. You can also open and close the cap on this one for the mist. So let's press it once. All right, showing mist. The mist is now coming out. You also can turn the dial for airflow speed. Let's take a look at the interval mode here. So it goes about 4 or 5 seconds on and then about 2 or 3 seconds off on interval mode. And you can turn the interval mode off to just continually blow. I'm gonna top this off with water one more time. Let's see how long this lasts on continuous mode. I'll put the airspeed on 3, which is about average. I'll come back and let you know how long it lasted. They say 5 minutes, let's see. At about 7 minutes, the mist is really starting to dissipate quite a bit. It's hardly even there anymore. It's only about that far before it dissipates out. So we get about 7 minutes of meaningful mist, maybe a little bit longer with a kind of a limited mist. All right, there really isn't anything left in here, so we'll say 9 minutes. 7 minutes meaningful, 9 minutes total, but we're not done yet. Let's crack this thing open, fill it back up, closing it up, reinserting it into the unit. Now let's put it on interval mode. All right, the flashing blue means interval mode. Stopwatch is going. Let's see how long this lasts. All right, so I guess the good news is that both misting modes last a little bit longer than they suggested. In constant mode, it was about 7 minutes of good mist and about 2 extra minutes of kind of weak mist. On interval mode, it was about 10 minutes of consistent mist and about 2 minutes of weak mist. So maybe a little better than they said. Is that good enough? I don't know. What do you guys think? How about a first impression of this? The current weather here in Las Vegas is a cool, crisp 99 degrees. There really isn't much of a breeze, maybe a couple miles per hour, so nothing significant. It's pretty hot out here. I wouldn't want to sit out here very long. Good thing I have my Shark fan with me. I mean, my first impressions, I haven't even used it yet. I haven't even blown it on my face yet, but my first impression is I gotta carry all this stuff with me if I want to use all the features. I mean, they give you a bag for it, but I mean, come on, man. They couldn't figure out a way to fit all this into a single unit without having to switch things out. I don't know about that. But one nice thing about it though is that the misting pod, I have water in here. It's waterproof, so you can fill it up beforehand and then use it later. I guess that's nice. Not a fan of having to switch out the components though, I gotta say. But let's turn this thing on here now. Again, very mild breeze out here, a couple miles per hour at most. And on 1, I feel nothing. All right, at 4, I can feel it over the mild breeze here. I got all the way up here. I mean, it's a fan. It's not cool air. It's blowing hot air back at my face. Maybe not ideal if you already have a bit of a breeze because the breeze is already doing most of the work. I'm not sure even in a slight breeze, this is really doing much. I don't feel like it's helping me. I don't feel like this is really necessary even with a slight breeze, at least as far as the fan goes. Let me switch this out. Let's go with the cooling plate. Up to the big leagues now. It's just weird how the cooling plate, it sounds like there's a fan blowing, but there's no air. That's interesting. But let's see, it gets my face. Whoa, is that cold? That's cold. That is icy. Whoa. Now that's nice. It doesn't even matter. See, the breeze is hot. This is a hot breeze. But that almost is too cold. And I got on low. See, now that feels nice. That feels really nice. Let me put it up to the second level now. Not quite an ice cube, but it's pretty cold. I'm kind of liking that. That feels really good. It's nice and smooth. I got the hot breeze kind of blowing, and this feels quite nice. It'd be nice if you could blow air across that and get a cool breeze, but I guess that's what the misting function is for, which I'll try right now. Again, this is all first impression. We got a long way to go. So far, I'm liking this. Mist time now. Oh, that feels nice though. I mean, the breeze is blowing around a little bit. Let's see. Oh, that feels nice. I have to hold it pretty close to my face, even with a slight breeze, but that does feel pretty good. On a hot day, this would certainly work well. So I think the fan, in this heat, with a slight breeze, the fan's useless. Cooling plate's really nice, and the misting's really nice. So far, I'm happy with those results. I don't like having to have multiple things to carry around with me, even though they give you a bag for it. I don't like this only lasts 7 to 10 minutes. I need to get my $150 worth of the test out of here. So this is just the beginning. This is just the beginning, the first step. Let's see what else we can get up to next. Let's take a look at this cooling plate now, shall we? I put it on the lower level and taking a look at the thermal imager. Right in the center there, it looks like it's in the 50s. So pretty cold. I'm looking at this number at the top here. Now they say it can reduce your skin temperature by 16 degrees. Let's test that out. I'll put my wrist right on here. So my skin temperature is around 83 degrees. Let's turn it over now. 70? So I'm seeing like 12 degrees, pretty close. That's on the lower level. Let's try the higher level now. Higher level. Oh, we're in the 40s. 49 degrees. Let's check my skin temperature once again. Skin temperature around 84 degrees. So my skin temperature, 68, okay. I'll take it, I'll take a 68. Let's turn on the Coolhill. I've got my Coolhill with the cooling plate setting on. Let's compare the two of these now. You can just tell visually the Coolhill on the left is a little bit colder because darker is colder. Shockingly, the cheap Coolhill is actually cooler than the Shark. Even letting it run for a couple minutes, you can see that Coolhill over there is a little bit colder. Wow. It's not a huge difference, but you can see there's a difference. And on the right here, that's the coolest temperature on the screen, and I saw in 43. So as impressive as this felt when I put it against my face, there's better options out there. Let's see how it goes with zero wind in a nice hot environment. Current weather in this car, 113 degrees. And there's no wind in here. Now I did put the attachments in this bag. I guess you carry one thing instead of two. It doesn't really save much, I don't know. I got the mister on now, let's try that. Now the mister does have a fan with it. It's because it has to blow that mist out. And that feels pretty good. That's a pretty nice mist. It feels nice and cool. It's a pretty narrow stream. But you know what though, in this hot car, that's a huge difference to me. So I'm kind of liking it. It's a shame that it doesn't only last 7 to 10 minutes because this feels quite nice. If you're in a stifling hot area where there's no breeze, this makes a huge difference. I'm actually kind of enjoying this. It's very nice. Cranked all the way up to 10. It's kind of loud. In here, that mist worked pretty well. Let's try the cooling plate next. We are now at 114. Cooling plate's on. I'm going to the second level for this one because it's boiling outside. Now that feels good. I wish they had a fan with this though. You know who does have a fan with this? The Coolhill, which I recently reviewed. In fact, let me turn this on. I've been seeing so many of these advertising online under different brand names. They're all kind of the same, but it does have a cooling plate there and the fan at the same time, which this doesn't. The Shark, how could the Shark be missing features that cheapo fans have? Come on, Shark, get out of here. Cheap comparison, Shark versus the Coolhill. 140 versus, I don't know, 40? What was it? Not much. Okay, well the Coolhill is blowing hot air against my face, and in the center of that hot air is a cooling plate, which is kind of weird. Honestly, I think I like this better. It doesn't make sense. You would think that this without a fan is worse, but this is actually, the hot air is blowing in to get into my cheek. This is weird because you have like this circular area that's cold and then this area around it that's hot. You're blowing hot air with a circle that's cool in the middle. That feels kind of weird. I don't know about that, at least in this blazing hot car. Current temperature now, 115. We keep going up. Let me put this back on here. Oh wait, it's warm. It's warm. What's up with that? This is warm. While I was talking, it got really hot. Okay, I got it on the higher level now. Remember, they did say that it's best to use it under 90 degrees. I would say 115 is just a spot above 90 degrees, but it's not that cool anymore. It became less efficient. Oh no. Oh man, it's warm. This is warm. Very disappointing. Wow. It's almost hot. It just suddenly got warm, like it's just too hot in here for it. Man, disappointing. I'll turn the regular fan on. Oh, nice warm air. See, that's not comfortable. I'm just blowing hot air right in my face. It's not good. That doesn't help at all. So in this hot car, the cooling plate, when it worked, was really nice. The mist worked quite well. The cooling plate stopped working. The Coolhill was kind of weird in here with the hot air and the cool in the center. And the fan itself, I think, was just blowing hot air around. So, in extreme heat, maybe the ChillPill is not going to cut it. Let me try that cooling plate one more time. I'm very disappointed. Oh, it's cooling off now a little bit. It's not that cold though. I just don't think it can handle it. It cannot handle this heat. Las Vegas heat 1, Shark ChillPill 0. And I'm going to go inside from this nice 115 degree weather and figure out what else I can test out on this ChillPill. Let's do a quick battery test now, shall we? Now they say that batteries can last in here from 1.5 to 11 hours. That's a big gap. But I don't think most people are going to run it on high the whole time or on low the whole time. It's probably going to be somewhere in the middle. So let's do a battery test right in the center. My ChillPill is fully charged up right now. Level 5, right in the center. Will it last 6 hours? Will it last more or less? Who knows? I got the stopwatch going and I will let you know when it's done. All right, at the 7:24 mark, that just went off. Now their instruction booklet said that level 5 should last 4.5 hours, so it far exceeded that. What's also interesting, it says that the fan plus mist, they have a column for that, but the mist lasts 10 minutes. We didn't keep refilling it. That doesn't seem very useful at all. But for this test, level 5 far exceeded what they said it was going to do, so I'm pretty happy about that. Let's take a look at the wind speed here. We'll go the lowest and we'll go the highest. On low, it's a moderate 2.5 miles per hour. Pretty solidly right at about 2.5. Let's crank it all the way to 10. We might just get up to 9. Oh, I briefly got a 9. Okay, we'll say 9. Out of curiosity, let's try the Coolhill at level 199. Oh, the Coolhill beat the Shark. Wow. What I'm noticing about the Shark is that it seems impressive until you compare it against a cheap alternative. And it's not so impressive anymore. Let's compare the loudness now. Pushing around 64. Let's try the Coolhill now. Looks like the Coolhill is a couple decibels quieter than the ChillPill. I guess in comparing the Coolhill, it's fair to point out that this one does have a missing function and this one doesn't. The missing function here only lasts less than 10 minutes, so I'm not sure how much of an advantage that really is. Otherwise, the Coolhill is mostly beating the Shark at a fraction of the cost. All right, day 2 of trying to see how well this fan works. Yesterday, I had a slight breeze. Today, I've got no breeze, so I can try that out. I also want to make sure I didn't ruin this cooling plate. How can a cooling device for hot summer weather cut off at 104 degrees? Get out of here, Shark. But I want to make sure I didn't ruin that, and I'm going to try it, the mist, in no breeze. So here we go. First up, did I ruin the cooling plate? Hopefully not. Turning the cooling plate on. Let's see. Oh, it's still cold. It's still cold. I did not ruin it. That does feel nice. And by the way, the cooling plate, even though it doesn't have a fan, there is a tiny bit of air that comes through there. It does feel very, very nice. And this is on low. By the way, the current temperature is 85 degrees now at about 8:30 in the morning. So I'm well below the 104. So don't you stop working on me now. That feels very, very nice. I love the cooling plate. I really do. Let me turn this off. What I don't love is having to carry these around with me. Now they have the bag, but I mean still you have some extra you gotta carry. Get out of here, man. There are some limitations with this. Let me switch over to the misting pod now though. I also want to set it down on the table and see how far away it works. So let's try that out as well. Misting pod is on. All right, the mist is on, level 5. I'm gonna try to put it on the table and see how it works. The way you angle this is by twisting this. It's kind of a weird design, but it does work. So let me see, I want to get it, right now it's blowing right above my head, so we gotta get the right angle here. Kind of twist it until it's pointing right, okay, pointing right at me. There's zero breeze out here, none. You can see how far away I am, maybe 2 feet. It's not really getting to my face. Now if I hold it this close, now I feel it. But it really dissipates that far. It's not even that far. Come on, man. Let me turn it up. I'll crank it. We're at 10. Well, now I feel it. But that's gonna last about 6 minutes, then I'm done. It does feel nice. It feels cool. While it works, it's not bad, but you gotta blow it all out in 7 minutes. I'm still kind of salty that all the accessories are extra. When this is 150 and competing fans, a fraction of the cost, have all the same features. Or some of the same features. All right, let me switch over to the fan. The mist didn't really impress me from that distance. It did get to me after I cranked it all the way up though, but you don't get a lot of time with that. Let's try the fan now. All right, level 1, I don't even feel it out here. Hold on. All right, I'm at level 6 right now for the table here. All right, I do feel it. It's faint though. See, the problem is, because there's not really a dedicated amount, you know, if you want to have it sitting somewhere, you have to have it pretty close to your face to really feel it. Or buy one of their accessories for like $10 to $30. I'm not even sure it's that great for outdoors. I'm starting to think maybe it's not. And if it's not great for outdoors, do you even need it? I don't know. The takeaways here, if I can turn this off, I didn't ruin the cooling plate. It doesn't have a huge range on it, and the misting function is nice when you do feel it. Let's recap some of the pros and cons I encountered while using the ChillPill. The pros would be that it's actually quite well made. The dial and the display are quite oddly satisfying to use as well. The misting feature and the cooling plate do deliver a genuine cooling experience. The twist design is actually pretty clever and an ingenious way to get almost any angle. The battery life is excellent. I got over 7 hours on medium, which is more than they said it would be. So it certainly is not without merit, but we have to look at some of the cons here. To me, I'm not sure which is the biggest con, but a big one is it's limited in where you can use it. The cooling plate can't be used over 90 degrees, the fan can't be used over 104. They advertise this as a heat hacker, but you really can't use it in extreme heat. If you want to go through the multiple attachments throughout the day, you really have to carry the other extras with you. To me, it feels less like a 3-in-1 cooling device than a pick 1 out of 3. Because you can't use all 3 at the same time. The misting feature works great when it works, but it only lasts about 10 minutes. So you're gonna have to keep refilling it, and you have to keep buying the wicks for it. It's funny, almost exactly a year ago this week, I reviewed another Shark fan that I thought was kind of expensive, had a misting feature, but I really liked that one. Unfortunately, I cannot say the same thing about the ChillPill. It has too many limitations and the cost is way outside of the competition. I'm not saying it doesn't work, I'm just saying that I think a lot of people will find it to be underwhelming. But that's all I've got. If you've tried the ChillPill or something like it, tell me what you think in the comments below. I appreciate you watching, and I'll see you next time.